On this episode of the O2 Garage, we are in the middle of nowhere and we are pulling the Dodge apart because we need these bits to use for the other one in Port Augusta, and it is fighting us all the way, all the way. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the O2 Garage, and before we get into this episode, I want to say a quick thank you to everybody who has hit like and subscribe on the channel so far. We're now up to 800 subscribers. Doesn't sound like much, but for a little YouTube channel out of South Australia, it certainly means a lot to me and everybody who's involved. And a big thanks to all of our sponsors who have supported the channel so far and been with us from the very beginning. We've had a lot of adventures and we've seen a lot of cars, and it's been a great ride so far. So 800 subscribers, I'm pretty impressed with that. I'm pretty happy with that, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed the content. So we are heading east towards Mannum, because in Mannum is where we picked the trucks up to start off with. But this time round, we have already got the small truck. We're going back for the big truck. And when I say we, I'm actually riding solo today. It's just me in the car. But I'm going to do this next truck in two stages. Stage number one is going to be, I'm going to pull all of the panels off the front. I'm going to get the engine, the gearbox, everything I possibly can. I'm going to get off this truck and I'm going to put it in the back of the trailer and then take it all the way back up to Port Augusta and offload it. Then I'm going to come back with the chassis of the truck on a car trailer. Now, the reason I'm going to do that is while I'm up here today, I'm going to undo the cab on the red truck. So when I come back with the chassis of the other truck, I can use the hoist that's up here to just lift the cab up, push my chassis underneath, drop the cab back on, put the chassis and the cab on the trailer, back up to Port Augusta. Pretty simple, two stages. So right now, let's hook across, let's get everything off. It's going to be a lot of time lapse, so a lot of cool music. And let's get stage one done. And here it is. This is Dodge number 2. Now, you've already seen Dodge number 1, but this is the red cab. Now, this is the cab we're going to put on top of the chassis. But in order to do that, we have to take everything here, pick it up and take it all the way up to Port Augusta. And that starts right now, because what we're going to do is we're going to strip off the whole front. And the whole front of it includes bonnet, guards, inner and outer, all of the front panels and the 318 poly that's hiding inside here. I'm flying solo, so let's hit the time lapse and let's make this happen. Alright, well, it would have been good to have watched me pull that off, but I actually had Larry come out and give me a bit of a hand. Now, this bit here is obviously the front end. That's come off as one piece. There's an inner guard there, and if we have a look at the engine bay, you can now see we've got a really good shot of this poly, and I can get stuck into getting things like the exhaust cut off, the engine undone, and the gearbox done, so we can actually pull the whole lot out. This thing has absolutely fought us all the way, and it has not been easy, to say the least. Am I tired? Yes, I am. Do I have a lot more work to do? Yes, I do. Should I stop talking and get into it? Absolutely. Alright guys, well I'm not going to lie, that's the end of day one working on the red Dodge. I managed to get the front panels, the inner guards, the bonnet, the headlights, surrounds, I got the engine completely disconnected. I got the cab completely disconnected. I got the exhaust off. Every single bolt on that truck has fought me today. I don't know if you can see the old mechanics repair on the finger. Second bolt in, I took a massive chunk out of one of my fingers just by slipping the bolt because it was just rusted. It had dirt. And I tried, RP7 on every bolt that I undid, and it was just horrendous, absolutely horrendous. So that's it. That's it for today. Next time I come up here, hopefully we'll get the cab and the motor and everything else. That was hard. That was really hard. Okay, so whilst we're waiting for the Dodge truck to get underway with everything, what I am going to do is I am going to get a couple of the front panels of Ruby's truck, give them a polish. I want to see how the red comes up. So to do that, I need to get the panel, I need to get my polishing gear, and I need to crack on. Okay, now here is the end result. Have a look at that. I'll stand in the shadow so you can see. This is the newly cleaned up and waxed. That's all I've put on it is wax. I haven't put any polish on it, just to give it that sort of matte finish. And that's the original on that side. So whilst the original looks kind of cool and so forth, it does look a little bit sort of, low spec. But this actually looks really good. I mean, you can see the color of the top of the bin. It really has changed in regards to the way it looks. And I think that is exactly how we should do the rest of the truck. Not too shiny, still ratty, but just cleaned up. Behind me, I've got a selection of the panels off the Dodge, and these are the front panels and the guards and the little trim panel at the front as well. And what I'm doing is behind the back of them, they've got decades of dirt and mud caked up on them. I'm going to hit them with some deodorant? No, some degreaser. And that's going to loosen everything off and make it a lot easier and neater and cleaner when we put it back together. And we can also paint the inside in a kill rust, a black kill rust, so that will protect it as well. So let's hit it with the steam cleaner. Of the two panels that I've now done, this one's been sprayed, and you can see the difference between all of this being lifted off at the back, and really we don't need it on there because it's just going to create rust issues. Now this is cleaned off, I can give this a quick wire wheel and hit it with kill rust, and the back end of it won't show any sign of degradation, whereas this one here, if left, could give us issues. So clean these ones up and we're in business. Here are the two guards that I've now cleaned. You can see it's all clean, but I've also sprayed this one here. And you can see they make a huge difference. The stuff I'm using is not very expensive. It's just this stuff. It's, what does it say? Anchor Shield Anti-Rust Hammerfish paint. I think it's about, I don't know, something like about 20 bucks a can or something like that. But as you can see, it makes a huge difference. And whilst they're not perfect panels, and I realise it's not going to be a show quality truck, I will know that peace of mind, there's a bit of anti-rust under those front guards, because this car's been on the road, since 1973 or thereabouts, and it's only managed to get this much sort of damage. So with a little bit of extra protection, we should be in for another 34 years of trouble-free use. All right, well, that's the end of part one of the Ruby truck build. We've got the front panels off, we've got the cab ready to go. It's still waiting for us up there, and it's been a huge journey so far. So hit like and subscribe right here. Let us know if you have any comments, give us some suggestions, because the next one is part two, where we bring it all back together again, but a whole lot further north. We'll see you there. So before we do the truck and before we get there, we really probably need to have something to eat.